Hey, what's up guys? So in this video I'm going to show you how you can create this stack text effect inside Affinity Photo. Now ideally I would like to use Affinity Designer for this purpose, but this thing does not work. This process does not work in Affinity Designer, and so that's why I'm going to use Affinity Photo. And the best thing about this technique that I'm going to show you in this video is that you can change any of these texts and all the other texts will change with it. Let me show you what I mean. So if I use this text tool, artistic text tool, and let's say change this one to maybe something else, let's change it to sports. So you see all other text change with it. Now if you're interested in that, let's get started. Now before I show you the tutorial itself, I want to talk about a little bit about this channel. As you can see here that 89.9%, that almost 90% of the viewers of this channel are actually not subscribed, and this channel is currently not monetized. And because of the new monetization policy of YouTube, it is going to be extremely difficult for anybody, any small channel on YouTube to get monetized. And as you can already guess that I do not get anything from this channel, so I share this knowledge totally free. And in the monetization you can see that I have not met the minimum threshold for which will allow me to monetize these videos. So I would request you to please subscribe to this channel. It will help me in the long run and create more interesting content for this channel. Now let's get back to the tutorial. So here I am inside Affinity Photo, and let's just close this and create a new document. So I'm not going to save it, and I'm going to go to file, new, and I think you can choose any of the document size, but I would prefer to use the much famous on t-shirt size. So let's just change it to 4500 by 5400, and I'm going to use a 300 dpi and keep everything as it. I'm not going to use any transparent background for the moment. So let's just press create, and we have our new document. So let's start by creating a text here using the artistic text tool, and I'm just going to type random text. Let's just put the word stacked. So stacked, and I'm going to use this arrow tool to scale it up and just position it at the center. Let's just change the font to a thick font. So currently by default it is Arial, so let's just use this one and maybe change it to this Arial black. And I would recommend that before creating the further moving on to the further steps, you should change the font at the beginning of your creating this design. Because sometimes some fonts are they have a high, and some fonts are actually low in the height, so that might cause a little bit more steps to arranging the design. So if you change the font to your default one, the one that you would really want to use in your design at the beginning, that would be really helpful. So now that we have our font at the center, and I do not want any kind of fill color in this one. I only want stroke on the outside of the letters. And in order to change that, I'm going to use this tool called the rectangle tool, or you can use the pen tool, because by selecting these two tools you will have the option to change the fill and the stroke color. Currently if I use the arrow tool or maybe the text tool, I do not have the option to change the stroke color. I only have the option to change the fill color or the font color. So if I use the rectangle tool, now I get the option to use the fill color or the stroke color. So I'm not going to use any kind of fill color, so I'll just cancel it. I'm going to use, let's say, just use the black color for now, and change the stroke width to maybe, let's say, something thicker. I think 8 would be fine. So that looks fine. And also I would like to use this checkbox called scale with object, because sometimes if we change the text I might have to scale it up. So I would like to keep the proportion of the stroke width same all across the design. So I'll just press this option. Now that I have our first text ready, what I would like to do is to create a copy of it. Let me just open up the layers panel so that you can see in the layers what is happening. So here in the layers panel, actually I think I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video that towards the end of the video I'll also show you a trick in which if you change the one color of your text all other colors will change, including the strokes color and also the fill color. So by changing just one color, each and every other color will change. So make sure that you watch the video till the end. So let's just create a copy of it. So instead of using the normal way to create a copy, I'm going to go to the layer and I'm going to choose the option called duplicate linked. And this is the new feature that is available in Affinity Photo version 1.99, and I think it will be also available in the future versions of this software. So I'll just drag it up a little bit, and maybe pressing the arrow key I'll just create some kind of distance here. I think that looks fine, and maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that looks fine. Now I would like to create more copies above and below it, but I cannot just simply go by selecting it and go to the layer and again duplicate link. I would not do it because it will create a separate linked layer, so this kind of like a tricky. So instead of doing that, and also I would not press Ctrl J to create a copy of that, and that will also unlink the layers. So in order to make sure that everything is linked while creating the different copies, what I would recommend is that, and actually this is the only way to do it, is to just press the group layers using this second layer that you have just copied using this icon group layers. So it will put this text layer inside a group, and now I can create a copy of this group by pressing Ctrl J and move it up, something like that, maybe a little bit higher, and that looks fine. And I can even create one more copy of this one, to move it to have 3 copies at the top and at the bottom. Let's just move it a little bit up. I think that looks fine. Okay, let's just select this group again and press Ctrl J, create another copy and move it up here. Maybe bring it down a little bit. I think that looks fine. Okay, now we can select all of these 3 groups, press Ctrl J, and it has given us 3 more copies, and we can bring it down. I think that looks fine. So our stack text is looking good. Now we want to fill the center text. Let's say the center text, we want to fill it, and that is currently at the bottom in the layers panel. So we want to fill it. So instead of going to use this pen tool or the rectangle tool and using the fill color, I would like to use a different technique so that only the center text is filled. So currently, let's say if I choose this center text and maybe select the fill color to any color, all other colors will change accordingly. We do not want it. We want only the outlines on the upper and the lower text, but only the center text to have a fill color. So let's just cancel this fill color. In order to do that, I'm going to select this rectangle tool and create this rectangle shape slightly bigger than the text. Okay, that looks fine, and let's just center it by using these align options at the top of our software here, and let's just bring this rectangle down and make it a child of this bottom text that we have just created. So now it is the child of this text because it is inside this text. And if I want to change its color now, this rectangle, I can change it, and you can see only the center text will get affected. Now ideally it would like to have the same color as the other things. So let's say I want to make it everything black. So that is how to do it. If you want to change this color, you just change this rectangular color and only the center color will change. And if you want to change the stroke color, let's say this one, use this rectangle option tool and only change the color of the stroke to whatever color you want. So all other stroke colors will change, but the center color will remain the same. So this is one way to do it, and your text is ready. And before I move forward, what I would like to recommend here is that group all of these together. So if I just select all of these and group them together, it will just make it easier for you to select everything and scale it down a bit or scale it up depending upon your length of the text that you have. So let's just keep it here at the moment. I think that's fine. So now it's time to show you the technique where if I want to change one color, whether it's a fill color or a stroke color, it doesn't matter. So if I change one color, each and every other color will change with it. And In order to do that, we are going to use the swatches panel. Now before I do that, I would like to just make the background black and change the color so that you can easily see it, what I mean. So let's use this rectangle shape, create a rectangle size slightly bigger than the page itself, bring it down, and let's just lock it up. Now currently you do not see anything because our text outline is currently, you can see that black. Let's just change it, make it white, and let's just make the center text color also, let's say, white as well, uh, something like that. That looks fine. And for the rectangle, center rectangle, we do not want any kind of stroke, so I'll just cancel the stroke here. So let's just go back to the swatches panel. In the swatches panel, I would like to add a new swatches palette, and it's called add document palette. So I'll just click it. It has created a new palette that is only available in this document. Now I'm going to go to this rectangle. Let's just bring it up a little bit. So I'm going to use this rectangle shape, and I'm going to have this arrow tool, or you can use simply this rectangle tool, that doesn't matter. So once you selected that rectangle, in the top you can see that at the top we have this selected option called uh, it's actually not giving any option here. So it's the fill color, and in the background you can see that it does not have any kind of fill, and by the shape in the our page you can see that this currently is showing the fill color. So what I would recommend is that change this, add this color to the swatches. So I'm going to use the second option, that is called add current color to the palette as a global color. So once I click it, it has this add this color to this, you can say that our swatches. Now let's just select the bottom one, and then again select the rectangle inside our text. Now after selecting that text, make sure that the color area is at the top, and then press that swatch. So I'll just press it one, and then I'm going to select this text to text layer, and I'm going to select that layer, not the empty layer. Instead I'm going to select the one which has the color. So I'm going to click here, and then again I'm going to press this global color. Okay, now you might not see any kind of effect here, and here is the magic happens. So if I unselect each and everything, it doesn't matter, and I choose this one, right click and press edit fill. Let's see what happened. So if I change it to the maybe yellowish and bring it down, so you can see that by pressing, just simply changing one of the colors in our swatches, each and every other color will change according to it. So it's not only restricted to that, or only available only to this, but even still, if you just change the color, change the text, the whole thing will change. So I'll just change it to sports, so you can see that everything else also changes with it. Now the group that we have created of each and every sports or text layer, I'll select that group and maybe position it accordingly, and maybe just scale it up a bit if I want. So you see how easy it is to change the colors, to change the text, and make everything editable. And you can create multiple copies of your design, and multiple versions of your, you can say that, t-shirts with different text, with different things, and it's going to be extremely easy for you. So hopefully you have found this technique and this tutorial to be helpful in your print on demand business. If so, make sure that you like the video. It will help me with the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you are interested in online passive income and more design tutorials, you can subscribe to this channel. It's totally free, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.